The Australian Summer School for Teachers of Mathematics was conducted at the University of New England in January 2008. 200 mathematics teachers from across Australia came to the University of New England to hear high-profile presentations, to undertake seminars and workshops on contemporary teaching of mathematics. Trevor Lynch, who's been a teacher for 40 years and a maths head teacher for 29 years, was the project manager for the AESOP project. Trevor and two other colleagues today talked about the AESOP project. Trevor, I was just wondering if you could tell us what the main focus was of your presentation.
Well, it was my charter in the focus group to link the summer school and all of the keynote speakers in the summer school to the AESOP project. I've been at every session of the summer school, and I was able to take from each of the keynote speakers a point that was significant to me, and I linked it to the evidence that we had discovered from the AESOP project.
Right. So how was your presentation and what you drew out relevant to the teaching of contemporary mathematics?
Well, the research that comes out of the AESOP project is it's fairly new, and it's in current classrooms, and it was in successful schools. The teachers that we had here at the summer school are successful teachers, and hopefully they will be people who will be able to lead their schools through change when they return at the start of term 1 in 2008. So I'm hoping that they'll take some of the AESOP experiences with them and integrate the ideas into their classrooms.
Right. So were there any particular issues or matters that you hoped would have come out of your presentation for the participants?
I think it's fairly important to indicate that if they're going to introduce change, and change is inevitable, and I think we're probably into a fairly dramatic change in mathematics because of the introduction of ICT, it's important to make those changes incrementally, to make it evolve.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, that's the secret of success, because there's going to be a significant number of teachers who won't want to change, who will have said that they've been successful for a large number of years, and they just think that they're too old to change, or they don't need to change, or it worked before, so why do I need to change? And I really think that they're doing their students and the younger generation a disservice if they don't.
Right. So Trevor, how might teachers use this information back in the classroom?
The teachers have been given a wealth of ideas, not only from the keynote speakers, but also from their interaction in the workshop groups, and I assume in their tutorial groups. So to introduce, they've been given a large number of ideas, particularly from their colleagues, and I generally think that that's the most successful way of doing it.
Yeah.
Now, in AESOP, of course, we gave them a few things which they should be aiming towards. We talked about time on task being something important. We talked about being excited about their teaching being an important aspect of it. We talked about enculturation of new staff if they get to the stage where they've got a successful team. Additionally, the AESOP project indicated that faculties in schools were operated best if they were a team. And there are lots of examples given to them in the little short lecture that I gave to them, a little short presentation that I gave to them, that indicates that teamwork is pretty important.
Yeah.
And if they can work as a team, then there's generally a success around the corner.
Right. Now, the summer school website will have quite a few resources and added on so that teachers can follow this through a little further, and they will receive copies of the maths booklet that was produced from the AESOP project. Are there any other sources of information that you think are particularly relevant for teachers to go to follow through on the issues that have come out of AESOP?
When I retired, I was pretty excited about the fact that information, ICT was coming in, and I had started to do something about that. There are, of course, in schools logistical problems involving it.
Yes.
Not the least of which is the security of the equipment and the fact that the equipment works. But in my workshop group, there was a lot of swapping of websites and software packages and things that people have already been using, which I think is the way to go. And if I were going back to my school next week, I would take those things, because that's the sort of area where I wanted to push forward
Right.
when I was a teacher and when I left the classroom.
So Trevor, thanks very much for your interesting presentation, and thanks for sharing with us today those ideas.
It's my pleasure.
Ta.